So some of the new functionality that they've released is, I'm going to go through these kind of one by one here. The first one is adjusting future values. So in that first screenshot in the top left, you're going to see we're just looking at the predictive grid there, so none of the historicals. I have highlighted the red line, so that's specifically our forecast working. If you notice, there's going to be now data points that are recognized throughout the line. I can now grab a data point and move it up or down in the predictive planning interface, and that will actually change my numbers in the database as well. So just a nice, easy way to be able to change some of your forecasting, based on trends that we're defining through these charts and graphs. So just kind of a streamlined process there, which I thought was pretty cool. You also have the ability to zoom into just the predictive area. So, as I'm kind of illustrating with that first screenshot, the majority of what was initially shown with predictive planning through the web is really our historical data set, and then the predictive piece is probably maybe 1/4 of the interface itself. There's now a zoom button where it will basically take your interface and have it be the entire kind of predictive piece, just to kind of spread that out so that you can, kind of customize more of where you want to start some of that movement if you choose to adjust future values and things like that. So kind of a nice functionality piece there. The next one, along the same lines, you can now maximize the entire screen or the entire user interface into basically one screen. So before this release, there's a lot of different buttons that you had to press to get different context for your reporting. In this case, when you maximize, you're pretty much showing the full gambit across the board here. So just kind of a nice one-stop shop to be able to kind of have almost a dashboard here that kind of shows you what's going on in general with your predictions versus your historical data. And this last piece is a new piece of functionality with predictive planning as well. This is allowing you the ability to add in a growth curve. So by default, that growth curve is going to be 2%, but we can change that. So by adding in that growth curve or enabling it, and you can do that by just selecting the radio button there, the check mark for the future, and then go into that little pencil icon, and that's where you can actually adjust your growth rate before it's added on to your predictive planning interface. Once you've added it too, you can always modify that growth curve at any time, so it's not like a set it and forget it. It can be kind of a living piece of your predictive analysis. So really some nice functionality overall with predictive planning, I think. Clearly they're trying to move people more to the web to leverage some of this functionality that's not necessarily available in the same type of format and ease of use that it is on the Excel extension there. So, those are some of the main ones. And then, yeah, they did do some small enhancements to the chart settings here as well. So in this case, we can actually modify what you want to include within the interface. So for example, do you want to highlight seasonality, or do you want that to not be explicitly pointed out, within the interface? So just some nice options there. But overall, I think good improvements to the predictive planning web interface, and they're clearly continuing to invest time in this from Oracle standpoint. So we look forward to future releases here that include predictive planning enhancements.